Last night, the Lakers retired Pau Gasol's number 16 jersey right there up in the rafters next to Kobe's number 8 and 24. Gasol was traded from the Grizzlies to the Lakers back in '07, and he'd go on to win 2 rings alongside Kobe. Shannon, how important was Gasol to the Lakers and Kobe?
Well, he was the second most important piece behind Kobe. He was the second best player, Skip. They don't win the titles. I think everybody knows that without a Pau Gasol. And Kobe was floundering until they made the trade to get Pau Gasol out of Memphis. He was a guy that gave you between 17 and 19 points a game. He gave you between 8 and 10 rebounds a game. Offensively, he was sound. He had a drop step. He could shoot the ball from the mid-range, could post you up, could block shots. He was the reason why, Skip, they were able to get past Orlando, and then they was able to get past the Boston Celtics. And he was a very integral part of what they were able to do. 12th player in franchise history to have his number retired. They do things. The Lakers, I mean, you don't get your number retired just because you play for the Lakers now. Everybody don't get their number retired. I mean, you got to bring some titles and you got to play pretty good. Now, Elgin didn't bring any titles, but Elgin Baylor was on another level, Skip. I mean, before Kareem got there, he was the best player. Even though Wilt came, Wilt wasn't the same player that he was early on in his career.
Agreed.
But Pau Gasol was unbelievable. All the guys showed up last night. Kareem was in attendance. All the guys that were on those championship teams. I even saw Silk Wilkes in attendance.
And up above was the great Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, who rarely comes to the ball game.
Rarely comes.
Even Jimmy Butler came, who played with him in Chicago.
He did.
The guys were out. He was a very deserving. But Skip, they don't win the title without Pau Gasol.
So I hark back to that 2008 blockbuster deal that they pulled off. And I'm still a little suspicious. How did the Lakers, of all teams, pull this deal off? Because all of a sudden, Memphis was about to change ownership. Jerry West had been there, but he was gone.
Right.
And all of a sudden, only the Lakers were aware that they wanted to move Pau Gasol. Well, if you had auctioned him off, God only knows what you could have got, because he was a dominating all-star player.
Yes.
And it was just what the doctor ordered for Kobe at that point of his career, because it changed history. Right. It changed life.
Yes.
And how only the Lakers knew, and even Jeannie was quoted, I read an ESPN story, I truly believe had it leaked out that there would have been a number of teams in this league that would have tried to hijack that deal. Well yes. Yeah. They would have jumped in with both feet. They would have been offering a lot more. You wound up getting him for Kwame Brown, because all of a sudden Memphis said, we want to tear down and start over because we just want a big expiring contract. So you'll give us Kwame. We'll take Kwame's salary.
And I think they ended up taking the draft pick that ended up being Marc Gasol, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the rights to Marc Gasol, which that was good for Memphis. That helped. But they actually had to talk Aaron McKie, the Lakers did, to come in out of retirement to go to Memphis just to show up, because they had to make it work under the cap. Well, what is going on here? How did only the Los Angeles Lakers know that Pau Gasol was available?
Well, after they did the job on him that they did when the Chris Paul deal, they said, "Well, we got to do you a solid."
Okay. I guess so, because they did the Lakers a big solid.
I think was Chris Paul before or after? Chris Paul might have happened after.
It was after. Yeah,
so they got back at him after this. They got back at him.
They got back at him. That's exactly what happened. And then I loved it. Vanessa was there last night.
Yes.
And she tossed us some sound from some video from Kobe at the Academy Awards in 2018, and he just went off about Pau, and he said, the reality is I don't win those championships without Pau.
Yeah.
The city of LA doesn't have those 2 championships without Pau Gasol. Okay, we got that. And plus, he came here with class. He came here with dignity.
Yes.
He came here with strength. And it's just hard to snap your fingers and for Kwame Brown to land Pau Gasol, and everything turned.
It changed. It changed for that. Because prior to that, Skip, remember, Kobe wanted out.
He did.
Chicago thought they had a deal for him.
He wanted out.
Mark Cuban said he thought he had a deal for Kobe. And then Pau turns it around and they win 2 championships and all is forgotten. But Pau was also a big man, Skip, that could pass the basketball.
That's one thing about the willing passer.
Yes, and that's one thing about those European big men. They can all pass it. You look at Jokic, it goes back to Sabonis, you look at Marc Gasol, you look at Pau Gasol, those big men, they can pass the basketball.
And did you say Jokic? He's the ultimate.
Yeah, he's the ultimate.
I got it.
But it was,
so I want to congratulate him because he's a really good human being.
Yes.
And he was great for this franchise. And they did a really nice job last night with the emotion of the night.
Yes, it was great. It was great. Man, I probably should have went to that one. Got to get me to a game real quick. Should have had to wear
You're going to be going to a whole bunch of playoff
You know, I'm
games.
trying to figure out. I got a game I'm going to go to. I'm going to go to a special game.
Really? Okay. When LeBron does what?
Every time LeBron does, I end up costing me half my salary because he do something every time. He increases.
Well,
He already all-time lead scorer.
Congratulations, pal.
He moves up on the
Very
three-point list.
well-deserved. We got to move on, gentlemen. But we'll stick with the Lakers. LeBron, was he just given one of the most awards in the Lakers' 112-103 victory over the Grizzlies last night? This is the second straight W for the Lakers. If the play-in tournament started today, they'd be in. They're sitting at 9th in the West. All right, Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an actual threat are your Lakers?
Skip, why you do this?
I don't do anything.
Yeah, you did. It is you.
Well, just say 0.
No, a threat. A threat to do what?
To win the West. Win the West.
Skip, no team is a threat with just one superstar. What we see in the NBA currently are teams are trying to get at least 2. Some teams are trying to get 3.
Are you saying LeBron is no longer a superstar?
We don't know if and when LeBron is coming back. You're assuming.
I do assume he can come back by the playoffs.
They're saying we will reevaluate LeBron in 3 weeks. Okay, what if during the evaluation it's not gotten any better? Is LeBron coming back? No.
Honestly, nobody knows.
Okay, so let's deal. The game last night, Anthony Davis. This is what gets you upset with. Makes people upset with AD. A lot of people. It's because you see this, Skip. I actually thought he was going for a 40-30 game. The way he started the first quarter, Skip, with 13 and 9.
Yep.
And then he got a freak injury tried to punch the ball.
He got raked.
Yep. And he ends up missing like 8, 9 minutes of the second quarter. And then he didn't, second and third quarters, he only had like 6 or 7 points. And then he turns it on in the fourth quarter. And what he can do is, Skip, that you see him, he takes the ball off the rim on one end. He brings it up the court and dimes it to Hachimura. Mm-hmm. That's what he's capable of.
Absolutely.
He gets down on the block. Now, that ain't just anybody that he's giving business to. That's Jaren Jackson.
He leads the league in block shots.
He's probably the front runner, one of the front runners for the defensive player of the year.
Agreed.
And Anthony Davis gives him 30 and 22.
He does.
He's capable of that.
Yep.
That's what should be. That shouldn't be like, man, AD had a monster game. All of his games should be monster. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be surprised. We should be surprised when he doesn't give us a monster game. Not when he does, because he has that kind of ability. Skip 6'10 and a half, feathery smooth, can take it off the rim at one end.